Warning: this video is not intended for persons underneath the age of 13. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Luke, and I've been a Dungeon Master since high school. Oh, wait, that's not my intro. That belongs to the DM Lair. Right. I am the Aries1999, back at you with another video. Must have gotten my wires a little mixed up today, because we are talking about powerful, low-level magic items. It's time to crack open Xanathar's Guide for my top 10 personal favorite, the top 10 objectively best common magic items. Let's begin. Number 10. The Pole of Collapsing. While holding this 10-foot pole, you can use an action to speak a command word and cause it to collapse into a 1-foot long rod for ease of storage. The pole's weight doesn't change. You can use an action to speak a different command word and cause the rod to revert to a pole. However, the rod will only elongate as far as its surroundings allow. Now, I want to give you a history lesson. In earlier versions of D&D, it was common practice to carry a 10-foot pole around dungeons, the idea being that you could use to test out which squares were trapped and poke bears, I guess. The item takes that concept to the next level by making your pole portable. You could just hook it on your belt and whip it down whenever you need to poke something. Yeah, for, your various pole needs. Maybe you extend the pole to grab the key off of the guard's desk when you need to escape jail. Or maybe you just charge towards someone and make the pole extend. Number 9. The Walloping Ammunition. This ammunition packs a wallop. A creature hit by the ammunition must succeed on a DC 10 strength saving throw or be knocked prone. Once it hits its target, the ammunition is no longer magical. So yeah, if you can hit someone with this, then you will have advantage on attack rolls against the target. But since the DC is only 10, this will become less and less useful pretty quickly as you face tougher foes. It's a pretty good resource for keeping the battle in your favor at low levels, but that's about it. It doesn't scale very well. Number 8. The Horn of Silent Alarm. This horn has 8 charges. Number 8. The Horn of Silent Alarm. This horn has 4 charges. When you use an action to blow it, one creature of your choice can hear the horn blare, provided the creature is within 600 feet of the horn and not deafened. No other creatures hear the sounds coming from it, and the horn regains 1d4 charges at dawn. Now, the channel Taking 20 thought of a great use for this thing. You combine it with the Message cantrip to make someone think that he's going crazy or being visited by a spirit. You threaten to torment him unless he follows the directions you provide. Or you can also use it on one of your allies to give some kind of signal for an operation. Or if you know that someone's waiting for a horn to go do something, blow this to mess up their operation. Number 7. The Dark Shard Amulet and the Hat of Wizardry. These two go together because they're effectively the same item for different classes. This antiqued cone-shaped hat is adorned with gold crescent moons and stars. While you're wearing it, you gain the following benefits. You can use the hat as a spellcasting focus for your wizard spells. You can cast a cantrip that you don't know, but it must be on the wizard spell list, and you have to pass a DC 10 Arcana check, and if the check succeeds, you cast the spell. Otherwise, it fails, and you still can't use the property either way until after you finish a long rest. Same with the amulet, except for warlock spells. So, yeah, this thing, it's, a potential free extra cantrip per day, and even if that doesn't work out, it's still a pretty cool looking arcane focus. Now, which cantrip should you try to, cast with it? If only there was another video talking about the best cantrips that I could link in the description. Number 6. The Lock of Trickery. This lock appears to be an ordinary lock of the type described in the player's handbook and comes with a single key. The tumblers in the lock are magically adjusted to thwart burglars. So basically, dex checks made to pick the lock have disadvantage. This one's pretty straightforward. It makes it harder for people to steal your stuff. If the DM wants to be cheeky, he could put this lock on an empty chest, and it is the magical treasure that you find. Once you get it, you can use it to protect your valuables if you're traveling in a seedy area, if you don't trust the party's thief, this could be a lifesaver. On that note, though, unless it's part of the party's dynamic, don't steal from players. I'm sure it can be fun to play in a group where theft and PvP combat are common, but most groups just aren't like that.
Number 5. The Tankard of Sobriety. This tankard has a stern face sculpted into the scalpel. You can drink any non-magical alcoholic beverage without becoming inebriated. Has no effects on magical liquids or things such as poison. Now, the most obvious use for this would just be to go party without having to worry about getting drunk, so that way you won't get hurt. Now, while this is a great use, it isn't the only one. Don't think of this just as a passive tool, but as an active one. Have all of your drinks poured in here, so that way you won't get drunk, and that way no one will suspect you if you start getting up to stuff. Maybe you just start talking to someone while giving them alcohol, so that way, they just start spilling their secrets. Maybe if you get into a tussle with some tough guy, you challenge him to a drinking contest. Although my favorite application would be to use it while gambling to hustle other players. Now, if you're wondering how you can gamble in D&D, if only I talked about that in another video. Oh wait, I did.
Wow, I am so drunk. Hi everyone, everyone having fun? Good, that's great. Now everyone, the moment you've all been waiting for, the Taro Matsui Show!
Number 4. The Moon-Touched Sword. In darkness, the unsheathed blade of this sword sheds moonlight, creating bright light in 15-foot radius and dim light for an additional 15 feet. So this item lets you combine your torch and your weapon into one item, and it doesn't burn out. A lot of races have dark vision, but not all of them do. You know what, if you're going into a dungeon and none of your spellcasters know the light cantrip, this sword prevents someone from needing to occupy a hand with a torch. It also looks really cool. Imagine like some mighty paladin just whipping out this sword to strike down his foes. His enemies may just lay down his arms and surrender. I mean, heck, the DM could rule that this is actually the Moonblade, but its powers have been diminished somehow, and you have to go on a quest to unlock its full potential. By the way, my editor thinks I'm kind of overhyping the value of the Moon-Touched Sword, but I mostly just like it for its various aesthetic and potential values, rather than its direct gameplay value. Because there's a lot you can do with it, but on the surface I'll admit it's just, a sword and a torch in one. Still useful, but perhaps I am overhyping it. Number 3. The Instrument of Illusions. While playing this musical instrument, you can create harmless, illusory visual effects within a 5-foot radius, and if you're a bard, it increases to 15 feet. So, so you could create any kind of illusions you want, like musical notes or spectral dancers. It's basically a cantrip effect that you can cast as a free action when performing with your instrument. Let's say one night at a tavern you get work performing. This could greatly boost the appeal of your show. You don't even have to be a bard to play it either. Anyone with music proficiency could do it. Perhaps you play the music for Peter and the Wolf while actually making the images of the show appear on stage. And you know what? Since bards start out with an instrument anyway, maybe you cut a deal with your DM to start with less gold, but instead you have an instrument of illusions. That'd be pretty cool. Number 2. The Perfume of Bewitching. This tiny vial contains enough perfume for one use, and after you use an action to apply it, you get advantage on all charisma checks against humanoids of CR 1 or lower for an hour. Now that may not sound like much at first, but think about what it's saying. Advantage on all charisma checks against pretty much all humanoids, because most of them are less than 1 CR. This one is so high up because it's useful at all levels. I mean, just think about the various potentials. I mean, you could combo this with all of the other items. Perfume combo, 'tis not bard, 'tis not bard. So yeah, you want to make an intimidation check with your Moon Touch sword, advantage. You want to make a deception check with your Tankard of Sobriety, advantage. Do you want to make a performance check with your Instrument of Illusion, advantage. Stock up on this stuff whenever you can. Number 1. You know what? Go ahead and put your guesses in the comments as to what do you think this one is. Tell you what, I'll even give you a countdown. Okay, you've got 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everyone have their guesses in? Okay, say it with me now. The Enduring Spellbook. This spellbook, along with anything written in its pages, can be damaged by fire or immersion in water. In addition, this spellbook doesn't deteriorate with age. Let's imagine a situation, shall we? You've been playing a wizard in a party for over a year and have gotten her up to 5th level. She has carefully copied every spell she has come across, from the jump spell in the first dungeon all the way up to the homebrew spell that the DM made for the enemy spellcaster in the last dungeon. Then one night, the unthinkable happens. You're in your in-room, practicing magic, and accidentally cause an explosion. No one is hurt, but there are still some damages. Chief among them, your precious spellbook has turned to ash. If you had the Enduring Spellbook, you wouldn't have to worry about this. I mean, the channel Arcane Forge actually listed losing your spellbook in their video on Fates Worse Than Death in D&D. I mean, think about that. You would have to start your entire spell collection again from scratch. And so the higher level you are, the worse that fate is. Ugh. Just sounds terrible. Seriously, invest in an Enduring Spellbook. In fact, you might get several and hand them out to the party. Even if they never multi-class into wizard, these things still make for great notebooks. You can write down potion recipes, record ancient secrets, or draw maps of mysterious locations. To be honest, I feel as though this could probably have been an uncommon item, maybe even rare if you had the ability to teleport it back to you and have protection against the pages being torn. Well, that's all you got from me for today. If you guys want, I can do some other videos ranking other magic items. Probably going to go through all the various rarities. And I also do want to go through and start doing the spells by level. But that's all I have for today. You can check out some of the other videos I referenced earlier, like my top 10 favorite cantrips and the D&D Fallout New Vegas. Also from me, I have an actual play 5e podcast called Enter the Dungeon. But that's going to be it for now. Hope you like this video. Put what you think in the comments. What's, your favorite common magic item. That's all I got from me. Have a great day, and God bless.